Welcome to my full review of VALKYRIE ELYSIUM released for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 and PC. Before we begin, I would like to thank Square Enix for sending me a free copy of the PlayStation 4 versions of the game, of which you will be seeing in the footage used here. A couple of weeks back I reviewed the demo, and while it was a decent little diversion, it was not exactly groundbreaking, or even a return to form, and to be quite honest, it was not exactly the worst fun I have ever had with the game either. But now that I have played the full game, has my opinion changed? Well, let's go ahead and find out. I was happy to see that all the progress from the demo transferred straight into the full versions of the game, mostly because I did not want to go through the tutorials on the game, and while the gameplay does open up in the chapters, follow the demo for the most part, I really just kind of stays more the same. Yeah, you will be getting new weapons, yeah, you will be getting new and hairy air, and yes, you will be able to power up the Valkyria a little bit more, but at the end of the day, if you did not like the demo, you are not going to like the full game either. And vice versa, I can say without a question that the demo was an entirely accurate representation of what you are going to be getting yourselves into in the full game. Unfortunately, it seems like Square did not take any feedback into account insofar as creating an explorable overworld, populating Valhalla with colorful different characters, implementing a minimap into the dungeons, fixing the controls on the map screen, dipping into customization, or making the hairy puzzles actual puzzles instead of just instance where you have to summon them to create a platform or remove a barrier to move on. With this being said, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The longer I played, the more similars I found as Strangers of Paradise, except it seems that Square actually put effort into that title, and this is just kind of a dumped down versions of it. Is the exact same missions based formula where you go into Valhalla, choose your destination and whether you will want to fulfill the main quest or side quest, and then report the Odin Shrines and repeat. The only real difference is that this is not a Dark Souls clone, it's much easy and more of a fun casual actions RPG rather than a nail-biting cleaning off my god I am going to die type of game, and I for one am thankful for that. At least I feel like companions nowadays have kind of lost their way, they have lost touch with that made game special back in the 20s, 19s and the 200s. They seem to have found some sort of generic formula, slap a catchy name into it, and then hope for the best without actually going back and realizing what made the games work in the first place. The previous Valkyries had Metroidvania exploration, fun flashback experience, deep full fighting party management, strategic turn-based battles, and really rewarded the intrepid hunter. But that's not the case here. If you ever go off the pattern path, it's like a little teeny hallway leading to a single health and potions or some crummy flower. It's not going to be finding a hidden character. By wandering of hell, it's not like you can really wander out of the narrow hallways if they put you into the first place anyway. You level up your weapons and the novel carries the exact same way. You just beat up monsters, hope that they draw the required gems, and then whenever you have enough they power them up. But the Valkyria and the weapons each require specific games at specific thresholds, so it's not like you can power level or anything. You have to keep progressions to levels, so again, there is no point really going off that beaten path to level up. Fight enemies or look around, yeah, you can customize your weapons, and I use that term loosely because that's just equipping a rune to add more attack power or raise the charge time or something. It's not that deep feeling crafting and customizations that the previous games had, and no longer do you have tons of different on hairy airs to choose from. You have just enough to stick into your summon slots and call in for the harder battles, and they level up based upon the number of times that you summon them. Then there's the length, there's only 8 chapters, and a few side quests in each chapter as well, so all told it's not going to take you any more than about 15 hours to complete. Now there are some different endings that you can get future landing it, but that's neither here nor there to me if I were to create a game from Legacy franchise that had so much lore and also kept it this short. I would ensure that it was a tried solid experience from beginning to end. I would have tons different gods like chilling in Valhalla and explorable overworld, multiply different paths to exploring NPCs, to interact with cool customization, maybe some like skits, or chit-chat with the party, strong wide variety of enemies, to fight, but not this game, it just feels so empty. All the time it feels empty and it feels so cheap and just not up to the quality for the previous release. Let me give you an example. At one of the points, the Valkyria is looking for the legendary weapons, and she finds one sealed behind a temple, but she says in order to break the seal she is going to have to like blow it up, which would cause and evil hands and endanger the village below. So there aren't heirs alike, hey, we should go and evacuate the villagers, and these conversations guess on and until finally the Valkyrie lines and agrees and says okay, go warm him and I will try to hold off the last. So after these pretty long conversations, I'm expecting like a really cool cutscene of hell dissolving the barrier then holding back the blast as the Aharias run down to the villagers and lead them to safety, but instead you get nothing. You get a black screen with like a really small dissipating of the barrier, and then this really cool temple is not even a dungeon, you just get the weapon immediately after it's just out there in the open. It's so anticlimactic, cheap and just kind of unfinished. And speaking of unfinished, in that village below, I mean, look at this village, it's completely empty, and you interact with the NPC by knocking on the door, and then you just get sniped, a dialogue basically telling you to go away, then don't even open the door. Because God forbid they actually create an NPC because there's no people, it's just so lazy. There's exactly one man in the village and he's only there because he introduced a side quest. That is just cheap. Whenever I was surviving the demo, I spoke about the lack of the story because there really was not any sort to speak of back then, and here in the full game, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is not a whole lot of story here. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel, and I wait you in next video. Goodbye.